You want to put YouTube up for a comment?
Aye, okay. Hang on. I'll put a bit. Want to go up on Google, I think, for that one. Right, put that up there like that. And YouTube.
Better put a chat on so I can see it.
Aye.
You're doing it at the moment, right enough. Regan Elise just went live and all right enough. Oh, there's Gregor. I got Gregor McIntosh in. Hello. Right, Republic. Yeah, a couple of minutes to get a few of them in.
Aye, okay. Just I'm trying to get YouTube our channel up. Where the fuck is it?
That's what happens when you've not been social media for a while. You get how to fucking use it.
Oh, honestly, it's ridiculous. Even just opening the computer when I got up the stair took ages. Took absolute ages.
Aye, it's like you. It's getting old.
I'll get you for that when I'm fit.
Aye. Aye, that's for sure. Anyway, folks, good afternoon. The reason for the impromptu is David's made it up at his cabin, so just thought he'd call phone and let you know he's no deed.
Right, hang on. To Davies, view your channel. There we go, and then we go.
I mind you mute it.
Yeah. We've got 33 people on board already. Can't help.
39.
Fuck's sake, man.
43.
Yeah.
It's firing up the charts.
Can't help. Hang on,
39.
Hang on. Fuck's sake, man.
43.
Hey, all right.
That's yeah. Hey. And apparently, according to Alex, nice to see you again, old Davy. Apparently, I'm young Davy.
Excuse me, Alexa.
Anyway,
are these yours?
She's going to say no. Anyway,
this was David talked to me about this yesterday, and the idea was we were going to do the thing from up in the. I've got an office upstairs, right by my bedroom, and I would do it from there on the telephone. It worked in every respect apart from it wouldn't switch the microphone on. It's locked the microphone to this setup that's in the cabin. So there you go. So I just said to David, right, I'm going to walk up to the cabin. He's going, no, you know. And I said, I am.
Well, anyway, to save you doing it again, you're going to fucking pair the phone with the computer. You've got to log in for your free stream.
Yes, sir. 3 bags full, sir.
Well, just, it's not that. If you fall down the fucking stairs, Leslie's going to hunt me down.
The Hellfister Ninja.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It's much rather you paired your phone than have her chase me around Scotland going to kill me because you fell on your ass.
Anyway, guys, what's been happening? Are we independent yet? Eh?
But no. We are starting a debate on whether we should withdraw our MPs from Westminster.
Yes, I did see that last night. It was James O'Brien that started the conversation about whether we should remove the MPs. And there were some people that came on that had interesting arguments to say, yes, we should withdraw our MPs. And there was others that came on that also had very, very interesting arguments as to why, no, we shouldn't remove our MPs, right?
And the whole time I watched that James O'Brien was being a condescending twit. I had to put a couple of comments in. I had to put a couple of comments in to make it clear to him if we would go through a representation, then Westminster would no legitimacy to legislate for Scotland under Article 19 of the Treaty of Union, where the legal system are separate and will never come
which he fully admits he doesn't know about. He has no idea. Yeah. So, also you've got to understand that James O'Brien is Labour. He's very, very much a Labour man, right? And I'd like to have a go at him on that one.
That's fair enough, aye. But I thought he conducted the debate quite poorly.
I can notice that. David, look, you and I are relatively old hands at this, right? And getting insulted, it's just like water off a fucking duck.
That's very true.
It doesn't matter.
That's very true.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, I'm glad the debate's starting. From my own point of view, we wait until the general election, send the majority of SNP MPs down there, and when Keir Starmer's disrespectful and says no, then you fucking withdraw your representation. And watch his government fucking pack of cards.
Yeah. And in terms of the insults, if you get insulted, if Scotland gets insulted, one of the arguments that people were getting,
I heard that, aye.
That if we remove our MPs, then what would happen is it removes the legitimate concerns that we've got of where our MPs are being insulted all the time. And therefore, by extension, Scotland is being insulted. So therefore, if you remove them from that environment, then you remove the cause for any form of complaint.
Yeah, I heard that argument. Yeah. Remove the point of grievance. These people, I mean, that shows you how little O'Brien knows about the grievance. It's not about being insulted in the Westminster Chamber. It's not having any fucking representation there at all. It's the lack of democracy that's the grievance.
What he is effectively saying, and what he misses the point on, is the fact that if Scotland elected every single one of its representatives as SNP to that chamber, we still wouldn't have the ability to take any of the other parties to task over their insults. And that he was effectively saying, oh, well, you can get other like-minded MPs to vote along with you. Fuck's sake, that's quite a jump, right? How many hundreds would we need?
That's the point, David. We've got the two main parties, the two cheeks of the same arse, the Unionist Party, saying they won't work with the SNP under any circumstances.
Absolutely. James O'Brien was trying to say they would.
Aye.
And they fucking would.
You guys are up it, but...
Yeah. But I mean, James O'Brien, he's come on with some good arguments in the past, and I've listened to him, and I've been quite impressed at times. But on that one, he was well far of the argument.
He was well far in the way he was saying. Basically, the way he directed the debate was quite condescending, you know. As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't up to his usual standard. It was as if it was something that a subject that was forced on, we didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's one that LBC said, this is what you're talking about. I got the impression he wasn't really that interested. But I mean, Keith Brown and Shona Robson say it's time to start that debate, then it's time to start that debate. As I say, I don't think the time to withdraw the MPs is until after the general election.
Me too. I think there is a time, it needs to be discussed, it needs to be planned, it needs to have the maximum effect.
And it looks like, I mean, the bookies now have got a May election coming up there very fast.
Yes.
I really don't know if the SNPs are already.
They're not. You know, you ask yourself, right, has the SNP bothered to contact me, remember?
Aye. I'm getting plenty.
No, I'm not. That's the thing. And I'm a member, and so is my wife.
Well, I'm getting letter drops every other day.
Yeah.
And they're asking for money, of course, which is the usual.
appreciate that. Or asking you to get
They're
they're
getting it,
filling
you're
up
talking
a lot.
about things like that. They're getting some aid, but as I say, I don't know if they're quite battle ready yet. I'll talk to Mark Day about it on the 15th. Hopefully you can pop in for that. But I know that
Well, I don't do any. Yeah, well, being the fact that I'm a Christian, I don't do any gambling. So therefore, I won't do any of the raffle. But sometimes what I do is I float £100 into the coffers of the SNP. Simple as that.
Aye, as I say, we get we'll see how battle ready they are when I talk to Martin. Hopefully you can pop in, but because you've got that event coming up, we'll see what happens.
I reckon if I get, I've got Greg, my pal, he's a joiner. He should be able to put a pulley and hoist system to get me up to the cabin.
Get yourself one of these chairs.
Leslie can wind it, and that's it. Right. There we go.
Get yourself one of these stair lifts.
He's downstairs right now. I tell you, right. Greg is downstairs right now, right, and he's busy putting the hard surface floor into what was my dining room. I managed to get rid of the table and chairs that I had last night, right? A guy came and picked them up, and I'm quite happy to see the back of them. It's got a new wee family, a new wee Scottish family. They've come up from down south. They're Asian, right? And obviously they've got the Muslim, and they've got Ramadan, all the rest of it, right? And then they'll have the feast at the end of that. So they've got a big table to do that. So that's great. So I wish them health to use it. But anyway, I'm getting my hard surface floor in, and I've already got my exercise. You might see the exercise bike. It's a cracker, absolute cracker. And I've also got.
I want to see a fucking exercise.
No,
I want to see a fucking exercise bike.
also, I've got the treadmill as well, right? I got that cheap. Do you know who I got it from? I got it from the Orange Order, right? It's so they can have the little emblem down it goes with a flute, so you do.
And after that, you and your meds. Well, anyway,
if they can't think there's something wrong with them.
Anyway, it's looking like a May election, according to what the ruins. We'll see what happens.
What did we say? All the way through. Yeah, and the amount of times I've had people saying, that's your prediction of the sorry, David. And the other Davey. And I said, well, we'll see. Right? So, but we knew it was going to be a May election.
Well, it's looking that way. It looks like he's going to call a snap one. It looks like he's going to call a snap election. We'll see what happens in the budget. I might change my mind after the budget.
A snap election always favours the incumbent unless there's something drastically wrong, right? And at the moment you've got to look at the duopoly and look at the other side and look at them, and there's something drastically wrong in that direction. So it's a catch game. It really is.
Well, you know yourself. I've been watching the Labour Party and the Tories campaigning for a while now, and I thought there's a May election coming. They two bastards, the two teachers of the same arse know what's happening. The smaller parties are being disadvantaged here.
Well, our very own wee Mr. Trump, gorgeous George Galloway winning.
Make Rochdale great again.
I mean, the wee bastard, I hate him, but he had a good point when he says, it's like, there you go, guys. This is the way it's going.
Listen, I'm hoping that's what's going to happen in this general election. I hope the English people are going to come to their fucking senses and not vote for independence.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we put the cat amongst the pigeons.
No, but they won't. They won't.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I'd like to see them put the cat amongst the pigeons. You know what I mean?
Generally, what happens is that if there's enough of the English get behind something, whatever it is, they get it. Yeah, they do, right? But this time it's as if the English folk just aren't bothering to ask. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Dylan. Out the door on 24. £1.99. Thank you, sir. Every penny counts, as they say. And thank you.
I've never seen that. I must have flew by just as well you're there to watch it.
It's got on YouTube. It's got on YouTube, which goes through. Aye.
I'll be a bit slow coming through.
Yeah, we know you're a bit slow, but anyway, that's
aye, that'll be right. I'm sharp with a razor, boy. Don't blow me in for trumpet like that, you know. Anyway, so we'll see how battle ready we are when I speak to Martin the 15th.
Aye, yeah. I mean, I was something that we read up on his website, and yeah, obviously he's like all the rest. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
This, David, one of the reasons why I want to get with MSPs and MPs on is because these guys have got YouTube channels and they're not getting any traction. So you people there watching, go click on Martin Day's YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification button, and there's a good reason for it, folks. The reason is these guys are in the house of thieves and carpetbaggers. If we're going to get good information about what's going on in the house of thieves and carpetbaggers, these are the guys we're going to get it for. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, get onto YouTube, find Martin D. MP's YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button. He does a few programs a week, and they're brilliant. And yet there's only 6 or 7 people watching. I tend to share them on my news. You know, these guys are in the house of thieves and carpetbaggers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we want information on what's going on there, we need to get hooked up with our MPs. And one way to do it is...
Yeah, sorry, it would be nice to get maybe a list of all the YouTube channels for all of our MPs, the SNP MPs, and just actually put them up for the people. In actual fact, I might see if I can manage to do that. Get on to all their websites, every single one of the YouTube channels.
Aye.
John, the truck driving says, "Morning all, morning Davey and Davey number 2. Just another wee message and funds for the food bank fund. Anyhow, it's 20 quid he gave us. Anyhow, Davey the truck hero for the First Minister and Davey 2 for the Prime Minister." I don't mind him becoming whatever, right? But I'm not going for a political position whatsoever. All right.
You know, I'm too honest to be a fucking politician. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Let's get back on message here, folks. Go find your MP's YouTube channel if they've got one and get yourself subscribed. These guys will let you know exactly what's happening because they're on the spot. They'll let you know what legislation's going through, what the Scottish Government's position is and what the SNP's position is on it. And they'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on. They say, so one of the reasons why I want to get these people on to talk to them is to promote their own media access. Because we're not getting good media access to the mainstream media. We're not getting good access to these people for the mainstream media. We can get it ourselves. You know?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I look at this and I go, why can't these guys get a good, a good audience? It's taken us a few years to through your efforts, not mine, to get this up to the stage it is. But surely they can manage more than maybe half a dozen people watching. Yeah.
Well, you know what we need to do. What they need is the membership. They need the membership to be aware of it. You know.
Yeah.
Need the membership to be aware.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and they need their
Your phone's a
constituents
bit
to
odd
be
there,
aware.
you clicking off and on.
So it must be the hookup.
Your microphone's going off and on. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Bandwidth seems fine, but
yeah. Well, I tripped there the plug for in yon big office block in Glasgow, and it had the word Meta across it. I wish the hell they would keep it to the name that it was, which is Facebook. The whole fucking lot went off yesterday.
I've seen that Facebook with the. Listen, I don't know if it's cyber attacks for an outside force, because T-Mobile went down a couple of weeks ago, and it's been a fucking nightmare ever since. I keep getting messages telling me my data's running out and I'm fucking not even using it.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, David, it's like, if it was, they're certainly not going to tell you or I. Yeah. If they've been hit with a cyber attack, they're not going to be telling Joe. Yeah.
Yep. So what else is going on? Well, we'll get the budget this afternoon, but Scottish budget passed last Monday.
Yeah.
As you probably be aware, to the usual cries of high tax, high tax, high tax, the rich will flee, the rich will flee. A lot of bollocks, of course, they're going nowhere.
I'll give you all. Hang on a second. I'll give you all a wee thing to take away with you, right? Let's say that with a flat rate right across the board of where everybody paid 25% of everything that they bring in, right, in income tax, in tax to the government, right? If they put that up to 30%, so long as it hits everybody equally, then there's really no effect, because prices and incomes would have to go up or down to balance that. Otherwise, what would happen is that a company that sold chickens wouldn't be able to sell that many chickens anymore, because, well, people wouldn't be able to afford to buy chickens. It's out of the price.
But that's what's actually happening.
No, but you know what I mean, right? That's because the tax systems everywhere in the world tend to be very unprogressive, right?
Well, they're quite progressive here with 6 bands, David.
Scotland is quite progressive. It's not mega impressive, quite progressive, right? We could do with a few.
In order to be able to balance it right across the board, we'd need to have market controls, because you would need to make. In order to balance out right across the board, say at 30%, right across all wage brackets, in order to balance that out, we would need to do something like Denmark, for instance, market controls, because that would equate the prices to living, cost of living, or what. But you can't. But
no, for it to be progressive, you couldn't possibly have everybody paying 30%.
I know
right?
But
progressive. I know, but I'm making it clear so that the people that watch us know that it's clear.
Aye.
The reason why we put so much weight on people that earn more is because they have more ability to pay,
obviously,
than those who paid less. I know it's obvious, but at the same time, people need to realise what a progressive tax system looks like.
What
What you do is.
What worries me is this Bampot's going to cut tax this afternoon, which means slashing public services even more.
Well, in actual fact, what he's going to do is he's going to cut national insurance.
Yes.
Now, who does that benefit?
Well,
I'll tell you right now, having been an employer at one time in my life, that would really, really benefit the employers, because when you pay 100 quid in national insurance, for example, the employer also pays the other half of it, which is another 100 quid.
Yes, I know that, David.
So if he knocks the national insurance down, it helps the employers. Now, on a company of like a few tens of people employed, it really doesn't make that much difference. But when you get onto an employer where there's a few thousand employees or a few tens of thousand employees, wow, that really makes a massive difference.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but it also means massive losses to the treasury, which means cuts to public services.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
I believe if they factor in a 2%, I think you're talking about 2% cut. We're looking at 5 billion wiped off of the public finances.
Yeah.
That's 5 billion which could go to funding schools, hospitals, and whatever else.
That falls right into the hands of your jobbing fucking fascist Tory.
Of course it does.
Right.
But as I say, when we talk about progressive taxation, I did a bit about this in one of his shows. It had to do with social contract. There seems to be a disconnect between the English people for the idea of paying tax in public services. Whereas here in Scotland, we realise you've got to pay taxes in order to get decent public services. But there seems to be a disconnect out there because they keep shouting, cut taxes, cut taxes, cut taxes. And then in the same breath, they shout, public services are shite.
Yeah.
There seems to be a total disconnect down that road at Westminster. You know, and within the wider English public.
Yeah.
You know, if you
can I just read something else? We've got another donation from John, right?
Thanks, John.
John, the driving legend. How much is in the food bank kitty now? I know where I rather stay. Just like the now, I am more, so I am honoured to give a little more and a little more for the food bank funds. At the moment, John, it's my fault. Is because of what I've been going through, I haven't been paying out as I should do. David and I will sort that, but there is approximately £920 in the kitty at the moment. All right.
That's because there's been a donation made to Quelland the pantry. There was 1,000.
Right.
But I've got the receipt there, and it's received by and signed. It was one once. You know, Paul's Parcels sometimes phones me up. Well, I've got a phone call.
Fine. That's perfectly okay. It's just something that we're on. We haven't been on top of it. My fault. But I think, as you can imagine, what I've gone through is maybe something a wee bit odd.
That's
so I will be doing it.
You're back on form a wee bit. I'll be able to start sending you details to send it out again. You know.
Okay, no problem.
But
thank you, John. Thanks for the other £10. That's great.
And so where were we? What were we talking about before that? John, thanks, John.
Yeah.
Oh, we were on progressive taxation. Yeah. Aye, that's where we were. There seems to be a disconnect with the English public about paying taxes in public services because they're all shouting.
There's a good one here's a good one from Kevin Camp-Rolling. He says, national insurance was created to help the war effort. The war is over and we are still being ripped off to service the government coffers. Your national insurance is just a tax, like any other tax. Same as your road tax. One thing was the road tax. The road tax was there to actually cover for potholes and all the rest of it. Nowadays, it doesn't. Simple as that. It's just another tax.
But it was supposed to be to finance the national health and pensions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But
we all know Gordon Brown on ring fence, all that stuff.
Will you start to get this into your head? And David said it a lot of times in the past, and it took me a bit to actually get my head around it, right? What the government of the day do is, if they need money to spend, they just go and spend it, right? They say, right, okay, we're getting 250 billion to the National Health Service in England, right? So what they do is they actually give that money and then they tax it back. People think that the taxes are raised and then that money from the tax goes to pay for whatever. It does eventually, but it's the other way around that it happens. They actually spend the money and then tax it back.
That's the point of having a central bank. That's why Scotland needs a central bank. Because you phone up the central bank, say, I want to build a motorway, print me 250 billion quid, thanks very much. You go build your motorway, people are employed in building that motorway, they pay tax on their income, We all pay tax on almost everything we purchase, and hey presto, about 80% of it makes its way back into the government coffers through direct and indirect taxation. And that's how it should work, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, but and also that's the reason why a universal basic income is a goer. You can make it happen because of the fact that people at that level that would be living off the universal basic income spend it, and therefore over 80% of it goes back into the women government coffers.
And of course, making them working and creative or creative in other ways, so there'll be additional income that the government coffers through taxation, income tax.
Right.
There's still these people working, so that's the idea of universal basic income. Give everybody a basic income to live happy, and they're still productive. In fact, we see a much more productive society.
Can I still have my state pension?
No, because you'd have a universal basic income.
Oh, can we not make an exception in my case? No.
No. You don't want to bring it up your bum. Anyway, progressive taxation is important. We are much more progressive here in Scotland, and that's why services are manifestly better here in Scotland. Simple as that.
Can we get something sorted out? I keep on getting confused when I read this. Who's Davy 1 and who's Davy 2?
I'm Davy 1, you bum.
Come, you're Davy 1. I should be Davy 1. You Davy number 2.
Who cares?
No precious. Don't worry about it. Oh dear.
Anyway,
come on, guys. This was supposed to be just impromptu. Will you please shove stuff up that we find difficult to answer, and we'll get you an answer somehow. Go on.
Taxes only serve as a way to balance the government books when they print money. Correct. That's how it's supposed to work, Mark.
Well said, Mark. Well said, son.
And government debt's just numbers on a balance sheet.
Yeah.
The only thing we've got to be careful is that you don't dilute your currency to the point where it's worthless.
Yeah, and effectively that's what's happening with a lot of currencies around the world. It's actually happening with the American dollar at the moment. Oh, ouch! They've already had to phone up the credit card company and get their credits number raised, the amount that they can actually borrow raised. I thought that was an incredible thing. When the House of Representatives where they were having the Congress, sorry.
About raising the level of public debt. Yes, I watched that.
It's part of the Constitution that they have to have this debate and say yes or no to raise more money. But you think about it, you go, who's going to say no? Who in the American Congress is going to turn around and say, no, honestly, I don't think it's a good idea raising that credit card number. Yeah?
It's just a number in the ledger.
I know it is. That's the whole point.
As I say, but they'll get to the point where diluting their currency is the point where it's fucking worthless.
Yeah.
There's been a few examples in the past, like the Weimar Republic and a few of the African republics as well, where their currency you need a suitcase to buy a loaf of bread and things like that,
Yeah, crazy, utterly crazy. Where did I see that? I saw that before I went to hospital. It was one of these articles, newspaper, where it was talking about this place being very, very much like the Weimar Republic.
Getting there, we've got debt to GDP is over 100%. But what's interesting, David, is on Friday when Sunak gave his disgusting speech, you know what that was to hide? That was to hide the ONS's figures coming out to say that since Brexit hit, GDP's down 5%.
Yeah. Another thing, right? Here's another thing. He stood out in the front, the number 10 Downing Street, and he was talking about dark forces and all the rest of it, right? And a lot of people were given to think, this was your Free Palestine mob that were out, like protesting all the time, right? And I think, to be honest with you, that was the intention.
I was
But in actual fact, who he's talking about is reform.
As I say, that might be an undercurrent to what you had to say, but what I do know was he was describing a peaceful protesters protesting against the genocide as a angry mobs taking over our streets.
Yeah.
I want to address this one because I heard this today and all about Jewish people being frightened to leave their houses. Why? The Jewish people know the Jewish state.
Correct. Absolutely. However, after all of this is done with, right? Let's say that, for example, as somebody was saying on the telly yesterday when I watched Al Jazeera, they said that when all this is done, then things will return back to how they were and politicians will start talking again about a two-state solution, which is a load of bollocks, right? Where was I going with this? The problem there is that people will just forget what transpired within a fairly short. They'll go back. They'll go back to living their lives, right? And every time it's mentioned, they might go, "Oh yeah, I remember that. That's dreadful," right? Okay. But the problem is that we'll get the situation where people from Israel will maybe be going on holiday, right? They go on holiday and they get discovered, and there might be a few scuffles over that, where people go, "You're Israeli. You agreed to that went on and all the rest of it, right?" I think there might be a bit of that going on. And I wouldn't like to see that. I really, really would not like to see that.
The Jewish people, or the Israeli people, know the Israeli state.
Yeah.
And neither are the Jewish people.
The one thing that's ridiculous. The one thing that's ridiculous is the fact that a lot of these people grew up as kids that went to a school that actually promoted the fascism, that promoted the idea that Palestinians are animals. Yes.
Well, as I say, the doctrine of the state's not the fault of the people, David.
Yeah, I know that. Appreciate that.
And what we're seeing right around the world right now is a pushback against the doctrine of the states, especially here in the West, where we are especially horrified by what's going on in Palestine and Israel.
Yeah.
They're calling it Israel's war on Hamas. Hamas hasn't got a fucking army. Palestinian people haven't got an army. No war. You need two armies to have a war. It's a fucking slaughter.
There are a few blokes on motorbikes. One guy in a blooming a pearl parachute, and the rest of them on foot with a few machine guns. And that was it. Yeah. And that was your October the 7th, right?
The Peter Chancellor's on his feet, David.
Is he now?
Aye, so we'll read the budget later because there's no point in listening to the BAM because it's just smoke and mirrors at this point in time. It's when the devil's in the detail. You get the giveaway in public and you get the takeaway in the detail. And it's always smoke and mirrors, give with one hand and take with the other. So we'll see where the takings come from.
Yeah.
I imagine tobacco tax is going to get battered.
Yeah.
I think the alcohol duty will stay the same because it's easy to handle a drunken population. I think there's a risk that the fuel duty escalator may go. The freezing the fuel duty escalator may go. So we might see a rise in fuel duty because he's going to pull money to try and cover the giveaways.
I remember as a wee boy, my mum and father talking about the budget taking place. And my mother would always say, "It's always the same. They take away for the wee man. He loses his pint and his few fags on the weekend." That's what she said about it, socialist,
Well, anyway, we've extended the alcohol duty free juice as predicted for 12 months. Nancy's just put in the comments.
Yeah. all I'm interested in really is that he reduces the amount of, let's say, the taxes that are bad for the general population, and increases taxes for those that can most afford it. And it won't happen because he's a fucking fascist Tory. Simple as that. Sorry for the bad language, guys, but there you go. There you have it.
Hey, Mark, so if the Tories don't raise taxes to get the money back they've spent e.g. COVID and Brexit, then so-called markets lose confidence in a currency and in a capitalist economy. It's not quite as simple as that, because the magic money tree exists so they can cover it anyway. It just means another rise in national debt. And seen in the 14 years they've gone in, national debts went from 800 billion to 2.3 trillion. It just shows you there is a magic money tree.
Oh, yeah. Started with Brown and Darling. They were the first to push in money. Theirs went up to actually went up to 600 billion was the public debt, right? And George Osborne and David Cameron did a really good job of taking it up to 1.9 trillion before Cameron went by the by, and it's now sitting at 2.8 trillion. If you go and you do your national debt calculator. That's
David, give me a second. Somebody's at the door.
Right. Anyway, yeah, the national debt, I must admit, is something where we in Scotland cannot be made to take part of that on. You know, you imagine it's like if we are 1/10 of the population, if it was 2.8 trillion, 2,800 trillion, then we would have to take 280 billion, is it? Yep. And as part of our national debt, if we became independent, we can't have any debt because we work on a fixed amount of income. It's as simple as that. We can't borrow, whereas England and the Treasury, they can borrow. They're allowed to borrow as much as they like, which they have done. So, when's he coming back? Shall I change the subject?
That was my neighbour let me know I've left the side lights on in the car.
Ah, dear. How dare you do that, eh?
Aye.
I wonder how long it would take for your battery to run out, eh?
Oh, forever. I'll be fighting to go down the stairs and to pick the dragon up for work, that's for sure.
Aye. What time are you picking her up?
2:30.
Alright, okay.
Doing a bit of overtime and there was a bit of turmoil at work.
Do you know that's a dentist's favourite time? 2:30.
Why?
It's 2:30. 2:30. 2:30.
Kicking in, David. Can I ask the Tory government for money back for what I've given them on cigarette duty? No, Charles, you can't. That's what's paying for your hospital treatment, mate. So, no, you can't ask them for a rebate on your cigarette tax. And it's about to go up again. I think they're sticking up on a 10% or something.
Well, I gave up in August 2022. And it's like, what I should do is I should phone my accountant and ask him to do a wee quick calculation to see how much I've saved.
Oh, when you smoked it a lot.
David, honestly, man, when I used to drive to London, right? London was 60 fags. London was 60 fags. Bristol was about 45 fags. You know, so therefore, what I would do is I'd buy the number of packs of fags that I needed to do the journey. It wasn't a case of just filling the tank up, you know.
Aye. No, I'm going to chuck it. No, it's just too dear. Don't know whether it's going to be a vape or a patch again, but I'm chucking it.
Hang on, what did you say there?
I said, I'm chucking it.
Right, Ollie, you get the calendar out, right?
Hey, Wigo, it's not the first time I've chucked it. You know that yourself. I've known you for over a decade. For 5 years, I didn't smoke.
Oh, you poor wee soul, you.
But no, it's time we chuck it. £20 for a packet of tobacco.
No, the fucking bandage down the inside of my right leg is a good reason.
I don't want to end up with gobby legs. See, £20 for a packet of tobacco because it's time to chuck it.
Yeah.
It is. You know, that's, for me, that's fucking £60 a week worth of tobacco. That's a lot of money.
Of course that is.
Time to chuck it. And it's also time to chuck this. Because I've got to get on. I've got a dinner to prepare and things like that.
Oh.
And it's going to take you about a fortnight to get back down the stairs, boy.
Telling you, I'm going to do it, my bum. I'll be fine. I'll bump
down.
Aye,
you bumped down and crashed that new vein you've got built into your leg. Right, time to go and watch time to go and I'll wait till the budget statement's out and I'll read it back. But I need to get on, David. I've got things to do. It's great to have you pop on. See, Peter, I tell you, was the deed.
Oh dear. Honestly, what you like?
Kevin, the latest poll suggests the Tories have only 25 seats come the next GE. I can't see it.
No, I can't. But I'll be honest with you, it's like the Labour and Tory, I think, will come out of this equally because they're equally as bad.
Well,
and also you'll find that people of England will forget rather quickly how bad things were under the Tories when it comes to voting day where they actually go to the ballot box.
We'll see. The traditional Tory voters might swing back behind the Tories. We'll see. And Jerry, I'm not going to mention your comment because obviously that's got the black market involved. Oh, you'll not see that one, David, because Jerry Catlin says £6 off the ice cream van. Aye.
Here's the thing: if you do any travelling around the world, right, you find places where petrol is cheap as chips.
Right? Well, apparently there's a 5p cut in fuel duty. That wasn't expected.
Yeah, but still no. You know, that's like from 68 pence in the pound to 63 pence in the pound. That's fuck all. Seriously, right? So really, when you look at it, I mean, things like cigarettes. When I last went to Dubai, a 200 pack of cigarettes was just over a £5.
Aye.
Yeah, so it's like going around the world. It's the way that the government gear the taxation.
Right. Yeah. Right. See, I need to round this one up, David, and you've got to try and make it down these stairs. Before you try, and I mean this, get your Restream login and log into Restream on your phone and pair it while you're there. All right? Okay. Folks, thanks very much for your super chats and your kind donations. As I say, David's almost back to his feet, so we'll get back to getting distributed. And have a nice day.
Bye. Yes. Bye, guys. And it's been really good. It's been great doing this. Right? See ya.
Bye for now.